And now, back to the life of a book that is on its way from your shelf, yours, to a prisoner. What happens to that book? And before we take the journey, it starts really with you, not with the book. You have to look at your library and say, what do I want to get rid of? Or what do I want to donate because somebody else would get something out of it and I've already read it? Whatever. You have to look at your library. And so the first question is, what are we looking for? First of all, what do we take and what don't we take?
Well, Barb, we take pretty much a plethora of various types of books, whether they're fiction, nonfiction, paperback, hardback. It all really depends, on what you're willing to give. I mean, the only real restriction, we can't really send out encyclopedias or moldy books just because of, sanitary reasons in the latter case. And so those just end up getting recycled for the most part. But other than that, as long as it's your regular trade paperback, we even get law books from the university as well. I know the organization I'm also getting involved with there is helping to donate a few this coming week. And
Really? What organization is that, Brian?
Oh, that's the Prisoners' Rights Research Project. We essentially answer any legal questions inmates might have, just using a similar kind of letter-based process as Books2Prisoners does, actually.
Wonderful. So you're going to collect books from your organization, from people in your organization. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that they have some old law books because they are often requested.
Quite a few, actually, and even a very recent years, too, because of just donations that we get from the Student Bar Association and other organizations at the law school, too.
Okay. Well, what are some other books other than law books that are in high demand that people really should think about giving us if they have?
Well, I'd say really there's a lot of interest in puzzle books is one of the great things that people can find just by the time, but especially dictionaries. That's really important. A lot of requests we get just of people wanting to improve their just mastery of the English language is a very great thing to hear about. Is one of the things, that's we always seem to get a request for in any letter that comes out.
That is the most requested book, is a dictionary. What else? Anybody?
I might add that we also take textbooks. And the University of Illinois bookstore is very good at letting us, at buyback time, they put boxes out for us, and we collect books that cannot be purchased back from the students. We collect them in this box, bring them in, we put them on our shelves, send textbooks out, although they are heavier, but we do make exceptions for a few good textbooks. So we also take University of Illinois textbooks as part of our donations.
And what about urban fiction? Anybody know what urban fiction is?
Street stories,
Right.
Stories of perhaps gang life, outlaw culture on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of guys coming from that lifestyle enjoy reading about it.
Mm-hmm. And the prisons let that in, right?
Generally.
Generally speaking. Unless there's some extremely lurid picture on the front of it, usually.
Yes.
They do. And what about books on the trades?
We get a lot of requests for books about something as specific as refrigerator repair to anything as general as just general housekeeping and maintenance. So a lot of people need these kinds of skills as soon as they come out of prison, and they could get a head start if they had access to specific and more general trade books.
Another area that we get a lot of requests for are books on automotive car repair. A lot of inmates tell us that they are coming out and wanting to start a business of their own. It's very difficult for inmates to come out and go back into the job market. And they are looking at things like starting their own landscaping business.
Real estate. Selling real estate.
Flipping houses, so anything on construction. They want to start automotive repair shops. So even older mechanic books are good because they're going to be repairing those kind of cars. So there aren't books that are outdated for automotive that we get that we can't send in. They're all helpful.
Yeah, that's a good point. Usually it doesn't matter what date something was published, but occasionally in science it does. You know, a book from the 50s on biology is really not worth much.
No.
Can I mention a particular area of interest that I read some letters from prisoners while I was volunteering with, and that was especially of a concern to me, was computer books, especially computer programming. That is what I'm going to school for, computer science. And I think especially the way technology is moving, a lot of prisoners really want to get a better grasp of technology, computers, etc.
Now, Greg, how often is it that prisoners have access to computers?
Oh, basically none, probably. I did a long time in prison, and the only time I ever even touched a computer was at one time when I was in a medium security prison called Centralia, and I was taking some college classes at that time, and there was like an entrance survey or something where we used the computers. And they did have a computer class that I did not take, but it's more, basic usage of computers at that college.
Well, that's interesting news to me. In other words, it's the level of security of the prison that would determine whether or not they have any access to computers.
Well, it's the case in educational as well. I mean, basically, to my knowledge, there is no maximum security prison in the state of Illinois that has any college-level programs. The only maximum security prison that did have them when I went to the prison, I went to prison in 1995. Well, I went to jail, went to prison in 96, was Joliet, which has been shut down. And none of the other maximum security prisons in the state of Illinois have any college-level classes available.
Right.